Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thanks so much for dropping by. Hey, look, I'm going to get a lot of crap about this video. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There are so many expats that are just so screwed up when it comes to the reality of life that it baffles me. It absolutely does. They are users and abusers, and I'm going to talk about it. And if it hurts somebody's feelings, it's not my fault. Let's talk about it.
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
You know what? It's been a busy week, and we have been very busy. So we did not get much out in the way of videos this week, and I apologize. But life goes on, and you have to deal with what you deal with. These were things we had planned, things we had to take care of, whatever. Nothing wrong or anything like that, that's for sure. Now, number one, couple quick things. First off, if you appreciate the effort that we put forward, if you appreciate sometimes the humor, sometimes the reality of the material that we put forth, hey, please do hit the thumbs up and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. Number two, I am talking about a lot of men. We see this all the time. And I'm going to tell you right now, it has nothing to do with their behavior in public at all. Nothing. It has everything to do with how they treat their Filipina. And the comments are going to roll in, and they are going to be nasty. People are going to disagree. A lot of people are going to disagree. And you know something? I may have to give Marcus a call down in Cebu area over at Overstay Road and ask him if I can borrow a couple of his Golden Donkey Awards. Because that's how some of you are going to rate. It's just that simple. How are you going to take care of your partner, your Filipina partner? This is aimed at men who are moving women in with them, who are engaged in relationships and have certain needs and desires that have to be maintained at the detriment of her. Yes, that is what I'm talking about. Or him. I don't care. And what do I mean by this? Well, here's what I mean. Here you are. You've decided that you're going to retire. Let's pretend, because the vast majority of you that are going to retire are over 50. A large majority of you are over 55. And a significant number of you are over 60. And guess what? Your lifespan has a time clock, buddy. You're not going to be around forever. And everybody knows it. Let's not just, skirt around the subject here. All of us are going after these younger women. And age gap relationships are not uncommon at all. In fact, they represent probably 95%, if not more, of all of these relationships. I mean, you can take a look at many of these different people, and you will see they are in age gap relationships that are considerable. How much longer are you going to live beyond her? Where's your expiration date, and what are your plans for her? So let's just take some things into consideration here. Most of you are ready to retire, and that's a nice, great thing. That's the way I am, all right? That's the way it is, and I want to be around my wife, you may be partnered, all right? I want her to be around. I don't want her to work. But is that really the right thing? Well, I think it is, all right? And when I think it is, I also think, what kind of responsibility do I have to that? Now, you may be like Ace Bachelor Cool. Single and free is the way to be. Well, then this just doesn't apply to you at all. You're not moving them in with you. You're not living. You're not getting them to quit their job or anything else. That's just the way it is. But what have you done for her future? What have you done that is going to make a difference for her? You're going to sit there and say, some of you will sit there and say, well, you know what? I buy them whatever they want. I feed them. I clothe them. They have this. I give them, money now here and there for their family. Well, big whipping shit. That's not going to do her a whole lot of good when you're dead, is it? Who's going to feed her? Who's going to clothe her? Well, that's not my responsibility. Well, maybe you should think it is. If you are a reasonable, mature adult, all right, don't take advantage of these. Aren't you supposed to be the mature one? Aren't you on this side of the spectrum when it comes to that age gap relationship? Don't you think you should take some of your expertise and therefore look out for her future also? Are you paying her Social Security or SSS? Do you keep her up to date on her PhilHealth so she doesn't get penalized when you're not around to pay her bills? What have you put aside for her? At the end of it, when it's over and you pass away or whatever, what has she got left? Well, for most of you, for many of you, maybe not most, but for many men, they've got nothing left. Now, some men take them to the U.S., they become eligible for Social Security, and this is a whole different story. And if you've got your partner into the United States, it's a whole different story. But what about those of you that are like me? My wife wants to stay in the Philippines. She lived in the U.S., we lived there for years, we traveled back and forth. She prefers the the Philippines and her family. All right? So all those U.S. benefits aren't going to do her any good here, just like they don't do you any good here, unless she stays long enough to qualify for survivor's benefits on Social Security. What else have you done? Have you had a child? And if you had a child, did you get that child a U.S. passport? Because once you're gone, unless they have a U.S. passport, it's going to take an act of God and more money, because if you didn't get them a passport, I doubt you set her up with money or a source of income or anything like that to go through the process of getting that child a passport. Who's going to support them? Don't be a deadbeat man. Skip just the father part. Don't be a deadbeat man. What are you doing for her future? Arlene has investments. She has real estate. She has property. She has cash. And she will have more by the time I expire. And my expiration date is not that far in the future. But we planned ahead, we looked ahead, and I care enough, and I feel I'm a responsible enough adult to take care of that for the future. But what about you? How many guys do you know, all right, that haven't, that don't, that just did not? They're going to leave their spouse with nothing, absolutely nothing, all right? I was talking to an expat the other day, says, "Oh, well, I've got my this and this and this, and it's going to go into an annuity and this in the U.S., and she'll get a monthly stipend." And I'm like, well, who's going to take care of that in the U.S.? How is that going to work? Who's going to make that phone call to fix something or to say there's a problem? You need to think hard about those types of things. You really and truly do. You need to think hard about teaching your partner on how to manage money, setting them up so that they can financially feed themselves, put a roof over their head, and at least live a decent life. You need to take care of manly business. Manly business is not going out, all right, and hitting the bars every night. Manly business is not seeing how many times you have to order condoms on Lazada. Well, I guess if you're single, maybe it is, but certainly not if you're partnered, all right? Manly business is being a man, all right? And for many of us, we start to realize there are a lot of expats who ran away from problems in their own country. They'd come here and are just repeating these issues because they don't have to do it any other way. And because, you'll sit there, well, it's her decision. It was her decision to hook up with me. I don't owe her anything. Many of you will say that. And I totally disagree. I say you're supposed to be the adult. You're supposed to be the more worldly, wise, mature, responsible person. Only by virtue of the amount of time you've been around. Filipinos, they're amazing. Filipino people are amazing, except when they get behind the wheel of a car. That's a whole nother video. But generally, Filipino women are amazing, and they can learn a lot. Filipino women are not stupid. They recognize there's a future down the road they're going to have to take care of. You know what? When's the last time you took your Filipina to the bank, you introduced her to the bank manager, you sat down, and you said, how can I help my partner manage her money? So that you were able to explain to her the reality and the bullshit behind the programs that are available. Maybe it sounds a little bit too much for you. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to say you're too stupid to do it, because I don't think so. But I do believe that men are not doing it enough. There's no doubt in my mind. I know multiple couples like this that have nothing set up from when he passes away, because there is nothing. And if there's not anything, tell them in advance, you know what, honey? I love you. I want to be around you. But by the way, I'm going to die long before you do, and I've got nothing to give. So we've got to save money while we're together. I don't think a lot of people do that. I don't know. My point with all of this is what kind of a man are you? Are you looking to the future for them? In the comments below, let us know. Tell us, is it your responsibility? Is it your thoughts? Are you providing for their future once you're gone? I'd really like to see what the responses are. Please, I'd like for a lot of people to see this video, so please do subscribe and do hit that thumbs up. I'd like to get a variety of comments. Otherwise, thanks. Have a great day.